Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mike Armstrong Podcast Show. And this morning, I'm joined by Todor Kirev from Todor Kirev Fitness, actually from Bulgaria, but been studying recently in Scotland, in Aberdeen. And we had a little chat about business, entrepreneurship, fitness, and whatever. So how are you doing this morning, Todor? You okay?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks for having me on this podcast. So it's noon right now, and the weather is like awesome here in Bulgaria.
Yes, it's not so good in Wales. Wales, it rains a lot in Wales, which is why it's very green. But we have had some sunshine in the last few days, but then it's gone terrible again. The last, like 2 or 3 days has been rubbish. Before that, we had the hottest day of the year, and that's the weather in Wales. You can have 4 seasons in 1 hour.
Yeah, I've never been there, but I would love to visit it one day, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's not that different to Scotland, although it's a bit more like the rural parts of Scotland.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've been spending time in Aberdeen, so have you been to Glasgow and Edinburgh?
Yes, I've actually visited Glasgow and Edinburgh, and honestly, by far my favorite city is Edinburgh.
That's
But yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, it's like amazing, honestly.
Yeah,
But
well, Cardiff's similar to Edinburgh, I would say. So it's a big city, but it's still got its castle and its nice parts. If you like, still quite open. It's not like London where it's just all city and not much open space. If you like, well, there's a few parks and stuff in London, but yeah, but Aberdeen is probably not. It's not as big as Edinburgh where you've been staying and. I live
yeah,
outside of Cardiff, which is more like Aberdeen, if you like, mixture of towns, if you like, and countryside.
yeah, got that. Yeah, I've been living in Aberdeen for the past 2 years now. And yeah, we're studying there, University of Aberdeen.
Yeah,
And
what
yeah,
what, what have you been studying? What brought you to Scotland to study?
well, like I've always wanted to kind of broaden my horizons, okay, and like study abroad. And obviously, I'm coming from Bulgaria, and Scotland is actually the higher education is actually free. So this is one of the main reasons, and I've also always kind of loved like to visit the UK and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I decided to go for Scotland. And yeah, Aberdeen, I was actually rejected by the University of Edinburgh, unfortunately, and this left me the only choice I had left is to go to Aberdeen. So yeah, but actually don't regret it. I've loved it so far.
Yeah, and that's it. Sometimes the path you expect to go down, you end up down a different route, and sometimes you end up having a better time, So
Yeah, exactly. I had to like course correct myself, right, and just adjust to the new situation. And yeah, it's been good so far.
yeah, and you're studying business, yeah? So business, management
Yes,
or business studies.
yeah, yeah. My main degree is called business management, but I'm also taking additional courses such as finance, economics, and accounting. But yeah, honestly, marketing is actually by far my favorite subject so far.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's good because obviously I'm a sales and marketing consultant and business growth consultant, and I used to be a corporate sales director. But for the last 9 years, I've been running my own digital marketing agency, and I also run a consultancy business as well. So I provide entrepreneurs, business people with sales and marketing strategies, training services. I'm an award-winning networker, so I also provide networking training and advice. Um, I also help people with entrepreneurship, social media, all that sort of stuff. Because obviously, the older business people tend to need more help with the technology side of things. The younger business people need more help with more the traditional communication, sales, marketing, telesales, field sales sides of things. So,
Yeah,
I can pivot both ways really, depending on who I'm working with. So I love helping entrepreneurs. I'm actually a Business Wales mentor, which means I work for the government. And when people contact the government and say, I need help with my business, if it's in the digital marketing space, especially, they contact
right.
me and say, would I like to help them? And if we get on well as a mentor mentee, then I work for free to do that, just to help younger entrepreneurs develop, So I quite like quite like helping entrepreneurs because to me it's about giving back. If you know information that you can share with other people, then why not share it? And it's all about improving either the Welsh economy if I'm doing stuff for Business Wales, or it's about improving the UK economy if I'm helping businesses in the UK, or it's improving the European economy if I'm helping businesses in Europe, or it's improving the global economy if I'm helping people around the world. So either way, I'm helping some economy somewhere.
Yeah, always serving, right? That's the first thing, right? Always serve first.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes, definitely. Well, become valuable by offering great value.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't put out valuable content and help people at the end of the day, then I believe your business, whatever your industry, your business in, then you can't really grow and scale if you actually don't help people genuinely.
Yeah, exactly. The reason I podcast and YouTube and I've been using social media for a long time is because they're platforms that reach out to masses. And the more you put consistent information out there, the more you can help people. Because if that, I use lots of content and lots of help and advice and tips, etc., to pad out my sales and marketing messaging. So, I believe in a sort of 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1, 2 bits of good content that's helpful and offering value for 1 bit of conversion content that will hopefully get you new business. So if you provide, I'm providing twice as much free value than I look for in paid for value, if you like, So I'm offering much, and there's some people like young entrepreneurs who aren't ready to pay me, who I'm just offering them free information to hopefully get them to a stage in their business where they can afford to outsource to somebody like me then, So I put a lot of free information on my podcast, which goes out to the world, which hopefully can reach as many young entrepreneurs as possible so that they all can benefit from, my 30 years of experience.
Exactly. And for example, when you help them with your free content, you basically attract them to you so that they can actually become a paying client and all that kind of stuff down the line, right?
Well, that's the mission really, is I want to become a global speaker. So ultimately, all those people I help for free along the way, it might take 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but they all may then be successful in business. And at some point in the future, at that 15-year time, 10-year time, however long it takes, I'd be a global speaker. They'll be bigger in their business, and hopefully they'll want to engage in some of my paid for corporate training, because they'd have grown their business from an SME into a large SME or into a small corporate, and they'll have requirement for my products and services. So it's a clever strategy at the same time as just helping people, as many people as you can on the planet,
Exactly. And it's all about like the long-term game, isn't it? And this is why I so much relate to what you just said, because this is one of the main things I tell my clients as well, right? Because I'm an online fitness coach, and you can't expect to get shredded and get crazy abs in like a week or two, right? It's all about the long-term game. And one of my favorite quotes actually is the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And so, I can definitely agree with what you just said.
Yeah, well, everybody, especially the young generation, this day and age. So I'm glad you're different thinking than that. But a lot of the young generation think, they see people who've got it and they think, oh, I want it, and they think I can do something, cut corners and skip the process and get it. When actually, the people they're looking at have gone through the process. So sometimes there's no replacement for just hard graft and longevity, and experience. Sometimes that's just the only way. And there can be quick fixes, and there can be, accelerants and speed up things. There can be in fitness as there can be in the business world. But most of the time, you just got to go through the process. You've got to do your dues, pay your dues, and get in the queue of whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And sometimes you just got to stay in that queue for a long time, and other people will drop off the queue at the front end, and you'll keep moving further up. And at some point you'll be at the buffet ready to eat,
Exactly. And I can definitely relate to what you just said again, because I believe you need to have a solid foundation first to build upon later down the line, and instead of always searching for the next best secret or the latest hack or taking the shortcut to success, like, because we this is quite common in the fitness industry, right? Because like almost everyone promises you the world and
Yeah,
tells you
magic
that,
pills. All the magic pills going to
yes,
solve your problems.
yeah, and that you can get Brad Pitt's body in 30 days and get shredded and all that like crazy stuff. And but I believe you need to be for the long game, right? You need to have a foundation and then sustainably and continuously build up on it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, definitely. It's about layers. It's about small marginal gains, incremental growth, and changing from one lifestyle to another lifestyle, but with small changes over a sustained period of time. So I've done I did the couch to half marathon, and I literally was not able to run. The first time I went running, I probably run for about 30 seconds, you know what I mean? Maybe a minute. The next time I got my breath back. So I went for like a walk around a lake, around a park, with a path all the
yeah,
way around it. I run for like 30 seconds. The next time I run, I think I'm going to beat 30 seconds. I run for like 50 or something, or 40. Then the next time you run, you're like, oh, I've got to beat that one. And if you just basically just keep doing that every time you go out, then eventually,
exactly,
within a couple of weeks, you're running like 6 miles 3 times a week, which is what I was doing. 6, 8
exactly,
miles 3 times a week, But it all depends when
yeah,
you've got that mentality to keep beating and keep improving and keep getting slightly better, and the more you keep pushing yourself, eventually you'll get to whatever you want to get to. But you don't aim for that big thing. You just aim for slightly more than you did yesterday, or slightly more than you did a
exactly.
minute ago.
Exactly, just getting better, like 1% better each and every day, and like this will add up over time, right? But I assume you didn't get ready to run half a marathon for a couple of days, right? It took you time and patience and consistency, right?
Yeah, well, it took me 6 months all in all, because I actually committed to do a bike ride, a 60-mile bike ride. So I did training for 3 months for the bike ride, but I committed to doing the marathon. And I did the
Yeah,
bike ride for 3 months before. So I did 3 months riding on a bike, did the bike ride, and then did 3 months running exercise. So
yeah,
I was getting fitter, but different muscles, if you like, whilst riding a bike. But I was getting
yeah,
fitter for 3 months, did the bike ride, then did the run for 3 months. So I did 6 months
yeah,
training, if you like, physical activity training, but 3 months on a bike and then 3 months running. And
yeah,
then, if you just keep getting slightly better every time you go, then eventually you'll be able to do. And my mission for doing the Cardiff half marathon, was just to not stop running. So I didn't have a time. I did it in 2 hours 45 minutes, which went from zero to the half marathon. Literally from completely unfit to being able to run
yeah,
the half marathon. And I didn't stop the whole way around. I did, because I got up to doing training for like 8 miles or something a couple of times a week before the actual marathon. I was comfortable to about 10 miles, and then the last 3 miles killed me because I didn't
yeah,
quite get the incremental training up to the level I needed to, because of the short amount of time. So the
yeah,
last 3 miles killed me. But yeah, it's possible. So I do that in all aspects of life, is just keep pushing myself with incremental step ups, if you like. So fitness is an obvious place to do the same thing as what I do in work life, business life, wherever. It's always about how you can just get a little bit more out of yourself, a little bit more out of yourself, and a little bit more out of yourself. And actually, if you go for the big goal by setting small and medium goals and then doing your daily tasks to reach those goals, it's much easier to achieve those little daily tasks and just making those
exactly,
slightly better than it is to go and aim for that big goal, which is too far out of reach a lot of the time.
exactly. And yeah, I 100% agree. It applies to every single aspect of life, whether that's business, fitness, like whatever. You need to get into the habit of like doing this every single day and focusing on getting better. Like, it may sound as a cliche, but progress over perfection, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, love that,
But
honestly.
also, so I'm massively into motivation and mindset as well. So you've got to get your mindset right first of all to achieve any goal. Doesn't matter what the goal is, if your mindset isn't right, then you won't achieve it,
Exactly.
because you'll quit or you'll give up, or the first hurdle will come its way and you'll get out of the way. So for example, for that Cardiff Half Marathon, I committed to run for charity. So I had
Right.
the applied pressure of having to train for the marathon because I'd committed to a charity that I was going to do it. So
Yeah.
sometimes, you've got to put something in place that's going to motivate you to keep going.
Yeah. It seems to me that you had this external accountability. So you basically didn't do this for yourself, right? You did this for a greater cause, which is like for charity, right? So this is what actually kept you going when things got tough, right? And honestly, working on your mindset, like first thing I believe is critical, because this is actually one of the main things we cover first with my clients. Because if you just said this, if you don't get your mind in the right place, nothing else really matters after this, right?
That's right. Yeah. Because you're just going to keep failing and keep going through the process of starting and stopping and giving up and all of
Yes.
that. So if you can leverage outside external pressure somehow, if you know that your mindset isn't as strong as it could be in that area, I got a very strong mindset, but I knew with fitness, if I allowed myself the opportunity to get off the hook, I'd get off the hook. So I didn't allow myself that opportunity by putting a higher pressure on me than I could apply myself at that time. And so that's a good strategy. But that's why a lot of people give up smoking, get fitter. For example, when they're having children, they have that extra thing to think about, which gives them that extra steely mindset, etc. So it's about leveraging whatever it is that you have out there. I remember once I lost a stone in a month, and that was for my wedding. Because
Exactly.
I wanted to get fit for wedding pictures.
Yeah, and you essentially had your deep reason why, right? This is what like drove you to take action and actually lose 1 stone in 30 days or so, right? Because it wasn't just losing the weight, it was you essentially wanted to look better on your wedding. So that was, I assume, the big reason why you essentially did this, right?
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you just got to find whatever that mechanism is, whatever that thing is that's going to get you to focus more and be determined more on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Yeah, you just got to find it. So, like for me, start of lockdown, I had a great lockdown because as soon as lockdown come, I decided to get fit, and I've been actually getting fit. So I did the half marathon thing. So on my wedding, I did that fitness thing and lose a month, and that was like probably 18 years ago now, something like that. 4 years ago, I did the half marathon and decided to get fit again because I hurt myself the last 3 miles because I wasn't quite fit enough. I stopped training again, and it was winter time anyway. So by the time the summer come, I stopped training. But ever since then, that changed me because I was doing that 6 months of training, 3 months on the bike, 3 months running. I got back into exercising again. But because I'm busy, self-employed, and working, I was probably doing 2 or 3 training sessions a week. Gentle stuff on my bike, fair weather riding when the weather's nice, getting out on the bike, but not doing so much exercise all the rest of the time. And I was doing that then for say the last 3-4 years. But then when lockdown come, I thought, one, I got extra time in my schedule. What do I want to fill it with? And two, there's a killer virus. If ever there's a time to get fit, then the time to get fit is now. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm so glad that you actually took action because, in fact, unfortunately, most people didn't, and they didn't use this time wisely. And this kind of pains me to say this, but I think that's true. So yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people found that they were at home all of the time, and they were only a couple of yards away from their fridge. Whereas I've been working from home for 8 years anyway, so I know where my fridge is, and I know I don't want to go there until I'm hungry.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't just go back and forth to the fridge. I'm too busy on Zoom calls anyway to do that. But also, to me, again, the motivation at that time was my health. I thought, well, this is the time to get your immune system as strong as possible, which fitness is going to do, and so is nutrition and hydration and all of those things, this is the time to do it, because if you get a killer virus, then it's not going to affect you so much. So I started my own lockdown routine for about 3 months. And then I discovered a thing called #75hard. It's a 75-day challenge.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
You know it, yeah? And it's a mental toughness challenge, but it includes fitness, diet, hydration, education, exercise, a bit of everything. And actually, the reason I'm mentioning that today is yesterday was my last day. It was the 75th day of my 75-day challenge.
Awesome. And like, what was the experience?
Oh, it was awesome, really. I loved it. Like, I loved it wasn't that hard, although it's #75hard. For me, it wasn't that hard because I was in the right mental space and I was in lockdown. So a lot of the things I was giving up didn't matter so much because we were giving them up anyway in lockdown.
Yes, yeah.
So
Definitely.
it wasn't as mentally tough as it could have been had the pubs been open, for example, because I've been on a 75-day booze ban.
Right.
So not as hard to do in lockdown as if you were out socialising, and I do a lot of networking and meeting people in the real world and stuff. And so I'd have had to say no quite a lot. But saying that, I've said no to cans of lager when I've been offered it every Saturday because I go shopping for my dad and his girlfriend who are in Shielding. So I've had to say no to alcohol, which is, part of the mental toughness thing, saying no, not having things, not getting involved. I've been on a diet for 75 days. Most people struggle just being on a diet without having to do all the other things as well. Yeah. Exercise twice a day, every day for 75 days. Again, lots of people struggle with that. But I was already on an exercise bender, if you like, or bug for 3 months before I took the 75-day challenge. So I was already geared up with my own exercise routine. I was mostly doing it 6 days a week, sometimes 7, but I'd have the odd day off. Whereas with the 75-day challenge, it's every day. You can't have the day off. So I'm looking forward at some point soon to have a day off where I just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Because I've been working hard and training hard for a long time, for 6 months.
Yeah, but you definitely deserve a day off during the week to kind of recharge your batteries, recover, all that good stuff,
Yeah, and I haven't had a holiday this year at all, so I'm going to give myself 1 day holiday, at some point, where I literally just have a day doing nothing, watching telly on the settee and chilling.
Yeah, I mean, everyone deserves it, every now and then,
Yeah, but actually I'm going to adapt probably 80-90% of the 75-day challenge and just keep doing it because I like it. I like the habit. I like the routine.
Yeah, I assume you've already adopted certain healthy habits because let's face it, 2 months and a half is not a short amount of time. So I assume you've already adopted certain healthy habits and you are into motion and you have a solid routine in place. And now it's actually easier for you to sustain it long term, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I've done the 75 days, the 75 days, the toughest bit about the 75-day challenge is I'm already busy in business and I already got my own daily routine of challenges, if you like. Yeah. So I started my podcast in the lockdown and I moved. I originally was going to do my podcast once a week. And then I realized I got more to say than that. So I changed it to a daily podcast. Once I actually started recording the episodes, I started doing 3 a day. And then I was listening to an audio book, 10X book by Grant Cardone. And also Think and Grow, The Magic of Thinking Big by David Swartz. And I decided to give myself a target of 10 episodes a day.
Whoa. And
I've been, not hitting that every day, but I've been averaging probably around 8. So I've upped it from 3 to 8 a day, So it's just time. It's trying to get everything in. I've got so many different things I'm trying to achieve right now that it's balancing them all. So with the 75-day challenge, what would be easier for me, instead of the 2 45-minute exercises per day, one being outdoors and one being indoors, it'd be much easier for me to do 1.5 hours a day, or on days when I'm squeezed for time, just an hour.
Yeah, I
like do an hour or 1.5 hours exercise every day forever, or for as long as I can, ongoing in the future. That's still going to be great because I've been doing the 2-hour exercises a day anyway for a long period of time. And actually, before I did the challenge, I was doing 3, but I was doing half hour, half hour. That worked
Right.
easier at that time. But I think now, because I'm doing so much business challenges, I'm going to just change it to 1 hour. But I'll try and do hour and a half when I can. But I'm probably going to commit to an hour at least every day. But it's much easier for me to do one session than two.
Yeah, and yeah, I would say that you don't really need more than an hour or so every single day. Like if you adopt this the habit of like exercising for 1 hour every single day, or at least 5-6 times, then basically that's more than you need, in
Yeah,
my opinion.
I think they say you can do half-hour exercise 5 or 6 days a week, and that's enough fitness a human being needs. I think that's what I've been told. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and especially because like I can see that you've been pumping out content like crazy. You have a lot of things going on, and basically you're not a professional bodybuilder, right? So honestly, you don't really need more than an hour or so every day, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's easier. And then obviously I'm going to knock the reading 10 pages on the head and just do audiobook because I've been reading and audiobooking, and I do the audiobooking at the same time as I'm going out on the bike or doing weights or cooking or whatever. So therefore, time-wise, it fits in lovely. So I'll keep doing the education. I've probably gone through like 12 books during lockdown.
Awesome. Yeah, like I've actually experimented with this, and what I usually do is get on a morning walk for like 30-40 minutes, and I plug in an audio book. And yeah, I found it really, really awesome, and I love it. And this is why I've worked hard for the last couple of weeks to kind of adopt this habit, because yeah, it's worked wonders for me, to put it
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah, definitely. Well, at the end of the day, if you're already out walking or riding a bike or whatever for a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever, if you get the audiobook or learn something, if you get that consistent exercise done every day, and then you're going through that hour of audiobook every day, yeah, and you're learning a lot. You're absorbing a lot of information quickly, and actually not
Yeah.
taking any time out of your schedule to learn that information because you were already doing something anyway.
Yeah,
Free
exactly. You're like
learning.
killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
definitely. So that's what I'm into. The alcohol thing, I'm definitely going to knock on the head because I like a drink now and then. But I'm only just going to have 1 or 2 drinks, which is what I was doing before the 75-day challenge of no alcohol. I was just having 1 or 2 drinks on a Friday or Saturday night anyway. So just that's nothing. That doesn't even have any effect if you're having good hydration, good nutrition, and good exercise. Drinking 1 or 2 cans of cider on a weekend, it has no effect on you whatsoever, really.
yeah, you can definitely enjoy alcohol in moderation. Obviously, it is not the healthiest thing on the planet, but if it's in moderation, it's only a couple of times per week, and you've got all these things in place, like a healthy nutrition plan, and like staying active and working out every single day or regularly, then by all means, it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's good to have, a social drink with someone now and then. There's other benefits of socializing, of being around people, and in the
Yeah.
UK that is the culture. A lot of the time you meet people in a coffee shop or a pub. I don't know whether that culture will remain, longer term. Obviously, it depends on this coronavirus, whether there's a vaccine or whatever. But the culture has always been, it's actually been getting less and less with the younger generation because they mostly don't socialize and they socialize online. you know, but
Yeah.
my generation, I grew up where it was all based around, the pub and nightclubs and that sort of stuff. And so, for me, meeting other business people of my age or older, that's what we do. We meet for a coffee, we meet for a beer,
Yeah,
and there's no need to
you
not
meet in
not not
person,
do
right?
that in your routine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because there's other
You meet,
human benefits of that. There's other human interaction benefits of that process, if you like.
yeah, it's always better to meet and connect with someone in person, right? Because yeah, I mean, I obviously love and try to take like full advantage of the internet, because if it wasn't for the internet, we wouldn't be here talking with each other right now. But obviously, connecting with someone in person is always better, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm massively into networking. I do networking training, as I said. I currently got an A to Z of networking series running on my podcast, as well as A to Z of sales, A to Z of marketing, A to Z of social media, and A to Z of entrepreneurship. So I'm a massive networker. I won an award in 2018 at Wales's biggest business network as Network of the Year, which is the first time they give that award out after 10 years of trading. 10 years in business. Out of 300 members, I won the first award, so I'm pretty
Yeah,
good networker.
that's
And
a
uh,
master.
I as well as doing the podcasting religiously, I'm doing sort of 6 to 8 networking events a week as well at the moment. I only used to do 2 a week in the real world. So I do a lot of online networking, but the online networking is great, but it's not the same as real world networking, and it's just the same as online Zoom meetings are great, but they're not the same as meeting flash to flash, shaking hands, looking in the whites of the eyes, etc. So there's room for both. The online stuff's much more efficient, time efficient, and cost efficient. But the real world is just, so you just pick and choose when is best to do which one.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So what sort of areas is it just the fitness you work on, or do you work on the nutrition and all that? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah. So essentially, I actually went fully online at the beginning of lockdown, so at the end of March, and obviously it's like a whole like body transformation, life-changing program where we obviously look at various different aspects so that my clients can actually go through a complete transformation, not just about me sending them like nutrition plans or workout plans, but like I said a couple of minutes ago, we obviously start with mindset. We then laid a foundation by with the training and nutrition fundamentals. Then we look into different aspects of how to reduce stress, how to break through fat loss plateaus, and obviously one of the big things that I actually touch on is how to make this sustainable. So this is one of the big things that again I work with my clients on, is basically how to make this a lifestyle journey, if you will, and just because it's not a cookie cutter or a quick fix program. Yes, it's depending on obviously on your personal needs. It can range from 3 to 6 months, but yeah, like by the end of the program, the goal is to basically to have a completely new lifestyle and a whole new identity, basically your 2.0 version of yourself, so that you
Step
can
into the
actually,
better version of themselves.
yeah, and so that you can basically rediscover your prime. So, and I mainly work with middle-aged busy corporate professionals and like business owners. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And I've got something you might want to use or not. A lot of people find it interesting. I created this during the lockdown. I call it the Smart Happiness Formula.
Yep.
And basically, it's like a daily routine, a daily ritual that if you do, is scientifically, chemically, biologically proven to make you happier. Yeah. And the 5-step formula is an acronym. It's called the Smart Happiness Formula.
Yep.
And it stands for sleep, meditation, or mindfulness, ability to perform, which covers exercise, nutrition, and hydration, random acts of kindness, and target setting, target achievement. Yeah. So basically, 5 steps, 5 things. Obviously, the middle one, the A, got 3 things in it: exercise,
Yeah.
nutrition, and hydration. So it's really seven steps, if you like, or 7 things to do every day. But if you do those 7 things every day, you're guaranteed to be happier.
Yeah.
And most people do 60, 70, 80% of those things anyway and think they're happy. But actually, if they add the last 10, 20%, 30% to it, they'll be much happier.
Yeah, I actually love this formula, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually got a set times for the formula, but it's a very easy daily routine. Yeah. To to basically make sure you have a minimum amount of sleep. Everyone knows that, 7 to 8 hours. Yeah. You do at least 30 minutes of mindfulness or meditation. Yeah.
Yep.
You look after your ability to perform, which means, at least half a gallon of water a day for your hydration. So just drink water regularly. You exercise at least 30 minutes a day, and you have a healthy, well-balanced diet. So just cut out all of the, sugars, salts, wheat.
Yeah.
Just have a healthy, well-balanced diet. Cut out all the shit, but just eat healthy meals. Not diets, just healthy, well-balanced meals. Yeah. You do at least one random act of kindness every day, but ideally you do it whenever you can.
Yeah. So it's like texting a friend, calling a friend.
Resharing someone's post on social media, liking and commenting it and giving them a high five and telling them what a great post. Easy ways of doing random acts of kindness, but also, helping your granny out, calling your mum who wants to speak to you, whatever random acts of kindness can happen, but just do them randomly, but just do them, because doing good things for other people makes you feel good. So it releases a chemical called oxytocin. It's a hormone. So actually it chemically makes you feel better. So it's scientific, it's fact, and then setting targets and putting a nice reward for achieving that target gives you great anticipation, which actually makes you feel good as well. Yeah. But also setting lots of little targets every day gives you the pleasure of the hormone being released of target achievement.
So you feel that sense of accomplishment, right?
Yes. So basically all those things combined together will guarantee to make you happier. So if you have a daily routine where you just do those things consistently, so like at the moment, for example, my target is 10 podcast episodes a day.
Right.
So when I hit my 10 per day, I feel great.
Exactly.
When I only achieve 8, I still feel great, because 8 is way more than most other people are doing.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I don't know anyone at this point to be doing 8 to 10 podcast episodes every day, to be honest.
No, and that's why I'm doing it, because I like to be different and I like to push myself. And so I called my first podcast, and if you Google search it, you'll find it. It says Mike Armstrong's Weekly Podcast.
Yeah.
Because I was going to do it once a week. That's what I initially thought I could commit to.
And now you're pumping out like 10 episodes every single day, which is insane, to be honest.
Yeah, it is insane, but I'm doing it because I want to be different, and I'm trying to do something that's insane, because I'm trying to become a global speaker. So I have to leverage some insanity somewhere to make myself above the crowds and above the masses. You've got to do something, haven't you? You've got to be known for doing something. I'm going to be known for being the crazy Welsh guy who just pumps out podcast episodes.
Yeah. Yep, like 100%. I agree. And
it's like if you do hashtag 75 hard and then you whack in all of my own podcast, YouTube, and social media targets, it's called hashtag crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, like the great news is that you're doing this every single day, right? It is not you doing this every now and again, right? You're doing this every single day, and this is why you're getting ahead of so many people, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not sustainable, because at some point I got to have a holiday. At some point the business world might kick back in, and I might not be able to make the 10 a day. So I'm doing what I'm doing at the moment because I'm in lockdown, and lockdown affords me to do different things in a different way than out of lockdown does. But who knows what out of lockdown is going to look like right now, because the whole world is reshaping itself at the moment. So I might be able to commit to long-term 5 a day. But in my pre-lockdown, because I started this podcast at the beginning of lockdown, and in my pre-lockdown phase and mindset, I thought I could only commit to 1 a week.
Yeah. And now you're like, I don't know, like 60, 70 episodes per week, right?
I've done 480 odd episodes since the end of April.
Yeah. So yeah, for 4 months, 400 and something episodes. That's basically amazing. And honestly, honestly, yeah. I mean, and then you have this habit in place right now. So even when things get back to normal, you'll be at least putting out like a few episodes every single week. It's not going to be at least one, in my
Well, I
opinion.
should be able to realistically do the 10 a day that I set myself a target on, and I'm probably currently averaging around 8 because I do 10 some days and some days only 8. I should be able to consistently do the 10 once I drop down the 75 hard a little bit, because obviously I'm going to drop down that a little bit now. No, that's over. Only slightly. That goes down to, say, 90, 80% where it was, which will allow me that
Yeah.
extra leverage to go back up, in the podcasting world, if you like, and the consistency. But then when the new norm kicks in, who knows where the dust will settle then? I don't know. Depends what the routine looks like. But I guess my lockdown routine is probably not going to change that much going forward. It just depends how much other people still stick to Zoom in and not real world meetings. Because I'm going to probably still stick to Zoom in, because I'm now globally networking and globally doing business and stuff. So for me, I'll probably just stay Zoom in, but it depends how much other people around me go back to the old norm or stick to the new norm. It's the same as your fitness, it depends what percentage of people want you to do something in the real world versus still
Yeah.
online. That can
Yeah.
be decided by the market rather than you sometimes,
Yeah, exactly. And you have to basically adapt, right? And adjust things as you go, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I got a bit of something in my throat there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happiness formula, I created it during the lockdown, and I'm going to teach it forever to people forever, because the way I come up with it was really clever, but I was actually living it at the time. But what I realized is, at the beginning of I've had a great lockdown, and I actually always myself used to do sort of 70, 80% of the daily routine, but I was doing the 100% of the daily routine. And that's how I knew that actually the 10, 20, 30% difference that I wasn't doing before makes a big difference to how happy you can feel and how
Yeah.
mentally strong you can feel as well.
Yeah. And so essentially,
Yeah.
this is how you came up with it, right?
Yeah, the lockdown forced me into the routine, and lots of other things fell into place. But then I started thinking about it, and also I listened to a talk of Jarek Robbins, son of Tony Robbins, and he had a 5-step happiness plan, which is similar to this but slightly different, and it resonated with me because I was living it at the time. And when he was talking to me, he was like, "Hang on a minute, I'm living this." He's teaching a process that I'm actually living right now, but I
Yes.
had some slight variants on it. And and he teaches it as a happiness, 5 steps of happiness, whereas I come up with an acronym and teach it as a formula, because I actually was putting in the amount of time and that sort of thing, and just and the variance as well, because I had some slight differences of opinion with what he was educating and what I was doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
if you like,
honestly,
it's a bit like Pepsi and Cola. Pepsi offer Coke, Coke offer Coke, but they offer it in a slightly different formula.
yeah. And like, honestly, the formula, like SMART, like is a great and easy to remember acronym, right? And
Yeah, I think
yeah,
my formula is better. Mine's a better delivered, better packaged formula.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
because
Yeah.
I thought about it for quite a long time, and the formula developed. With constant thinking. I'm a creative thinker. So I put a lot of power, I put a lot of computers into fixing a problem that I wanted to solve, which was actually, I want to educate this to the world. How do I package it well to
Yeah.
deliver it?
And yeah, that's how you actually came up with it and constantly refined it, and now you're teaching this to basically your
To the
like
world now,
clients.
to the
Yeah.
world, yeah. And
Global.
actually, a big part of success, obviously, once we got onto the target bit and the goal achievement, I've been in target and goal orientated settings my entire life, because I've been involved in entrepreneurship and sales. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I realized is, after the target bit, I realized, well, a big part of my happiness is success.
Yeah.
Whatever success looks like for you as well. So not only is there the physical, chemical way of making yourself happy and feeling great, but long term, a lot of people require success to feel happy as well, because they feel like they're achieving something, whatever success looks like to an individual.
Yeah.
Success can be being thin, it could be giving up smoking, it could be, growing a business, whatever it may be. So actually, after coming up with a 5-step acronym and formula for happiness, that led me on to coming up with a 7-step plan and formula for success.
Awesome. And yeah, I totally relate and totally agree with what you just said about success, because yeah, I mean, I've been like a high achiever all my life, and although I'm like 21 now,
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, achieving success is one of the most important things for me. And if I'm not like quote unquote successful, like depending on, of course, what I view success is, right? If I'm not successful, then I will not be happy, right? So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it starts off at a young age. I got used to winning. I was the fastest boy in junior school. When I played rugby for high school, we won the league and cup double for the first 3 years of high school. I left in the 4th year. I don't know if they weren't carried on winning it or not, but I got used to winning mentality and winning mindset. And once you get used to winning, you hate losing. And so therefore you have to have certain elements in your life that is success to constantly keep winning. And, after the winning as a sports person, as a kid, I've won, top salesperson awards regularly, top sales manager awards regularly. I've won lots of marketing awards. Yeah, I won Network of the Year. To me, these things are important because they keep showing progression and growth, and that is, to me, success. Success is growing, not staying the same and growing.
And it's part like of the happiness, right? And like achieving all these like accolades and awards is basically one part of you feeling happy, right? I'm not saying that this is all you care about, but at least it's one piece of the puzzle, of the happiness puzzle, let's put it that way, right?
Yeah, definitely. Which is, and then so once I sort of realized success was an important part of happiness, I discovered 7 pillars, what I consider to be the 7 pillars of success, which basically turns anybody from, unsuccessful to successful. And they're lifelong pillars. You can't just get success, with a daily formula. It's a routine that you got to do daily, monthly, yearly on the path of success, because success is a longevity thing. Yeah,
exactly. It's a lifelong journey, right?
Yes, exactly. So I call the success formula streams, and the stream stands for systems, technology, relationships, efficiency, action, marketing, and sales.
Right.
And pretty much, if you imagine you got, say, 3 plants, and you plant, by doing daily routines, you plant each one of those 7 things. If you grow them over a sustained period of time, then you're going to be successful. You cannot become more successful by improving systems, by implementing technology, by improving and working on your relationships, by improving your efficiency, by creating massive action, by improving your sales ability and improving your marketing ability. All of those things on their own make you better. Yes. As a person, as a business, as whatever. But together, if you grow them all equally and you just keep working on them, they can guarantee to make you more successful. How can you not be more successful? Systems, for example, if you work to systems and keep implementing good systems in your business, that's what makes a business valuable, because systems work when you're not in it. So a business is systems and processes.
Exactly.
It's a collection of systems and processes that makes profit for a business.
Mm-hmm.
And then technology has been invented to make life easier. So, implement technology and you're going to have an easier life. You're going to get more done, more efficiency, etc. Yeah. That's why I think there's going to be a massive bounce back after the economy sort of slowly recovers. There'll be a huge growth period then, because there's a million businesses, billions of businesses out there who've just got more efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of technology, they're not. There's a million companies whose sales guys are doing 2-hour Zoom meetings and not having to do the 2 hours to get their 2 hours back. So they're making 4 hours more in a day.
Yeah, exactly. Like lots of people, I believe, and like businesses and stuff are finally kind of realizing the huge positive impact of technology, right? So this is
Yeah,
why we see like so many companies actually that they allow their employees to have more to work for them online, basically
yeah,
for like half their work week or so. So like companies like Google and stuff. So
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, and also, people are globally networking now. People can find customers around the world. They can service them around the world. They can service them in less time. There's people on LinkedIn all the time, constantly now. LinkedIn is like it's like a busy universe now.
Yeah,
There's just so many things that are going to impact people's businesses. But the people don't realize at the moment how much it's going to impact them. But I think the economy will see the effect of that at some point.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and then
agree.
and then obviously relationships. Invested in your personal relationships, your team around you, and your network are three massive ways that you can grow as a person, as a business, as an entrepreneur. So relationships are massive, and they will still be massive whether they're done over the phone or online and not in person so much. They're still going to be massive, massively down to relationships. And then you've got efficiencies and actions. If you implement efficiencies in whatever you do, you can get more done, which allows you to create more actions. So more activity, more action creates more success. 10
Yeah,
podcast episodes a day is going to reach more people than 3.
exactly.
Yeah. So action, and then marketing and sales are the pillars of any success, because there's lots of people in this world who are great at stuff, but nobody knows them because they're not very good at marketing and sales.
Yeah, and like if you are not generating sales, then you don't obviously have the ability to impact so many people because you're gonna be out of business if you don't make money, right? So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's it, yeah. So actually, those 7 pillars of success, I believe you can do sustainable on their own for a while and still be successful. But they won't give you longevity, because lots of people could be following those 7 success formulas, but working too many hours, eating badly, and actually dying, because they've been burnt out. And this is why if you actually smash my 2 formulas together, it's called
yeah,
smart streams.
yeah, yeah,
And
just
that
just
Yeah, and that's what I believe puts people onto full flow. That's when you're in full long-term success. So I call it an elite business performance formula.
yeah,
Yeah? It's the 360 holistic view of success, yeah, which is looking after your business, your income, your entrepreneurship, plus yourself, to be able to sustain it long term.
yeah, and that's how you achieve success basically in every
Yeah,
aspect of life.
that's how you crack life. To be honest with you, the
Yeah,
smart stream success formula is the formula for cracking life.
a nice way to put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So I come up with all of that in lockdown, and now I'm just going to write books on it and train people on seminars and all that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to just creating loads of great content around that for the rest of my life, because I believe 100% in this. So I don't care if other people do or not. I'll get them to over time.
Exactly. So lockdown was productive for
Yes.
you, right? Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like you say,
Mm.
because when you're happy, you get productive. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you follow the formulas,
Yeah.
if you do lots of sleep, meditation, look after your ability to perform, do random acts of kindness and target setting, yeah, that gets you to be more productive. And then if you actually implement systems, technology, relationships, efficiencies, actions, marketing, and sales, you get very
Yeah.
productive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
can't do the systems without them having an impact,
Yeah.
because they're all
100%.
impactful. Everything in the systems are impactful, so they have to have
Yeah.
an impact. You know.
100%. Now I can see how all these things actually combine together, like work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm living proof of this. So once I've made it to a global speaker stage, which is what my big target is, yeah, all the little targets I'm doing, all of the activities I'm doing are all with that big goal in mind, yeah. And once I make it to that stage and people ask me how I did it, I'll say, subscribe to the formulas. It's all there.
Yeah. Exactly. And like, yeah, you have your ultimate goal that you want to achieve in mind, and then you break it down step by step, and now you're putting in daily action to go to eventually get to where you want to be, which for you.
I'm in the technology, I'm in the systems, I'm in the efficiency, I'm in the action, I'm in the marketing, I'm in the sales system.
Yeah,
You know, it's
exactly.
what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing every day. I'm doing all of the things I'm going to be teaching people. I'm doing it every day. So once they see the end product of it, the proof, yeah, which is I'm still working on the proof. But as soon as I
Yeah,
have the proof, the social proof and the total proof, then I'll just sell the systems. I know the systems
yeah,
work, but other people require proof, which is fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And again, this applies to fitness as well, right? I mean, if I have like hundreds of like testimonials and people that have literally transformed not only their bodies but their lives, and they are like they've put together like a short video of themselves talking, then people will see me as a credible figure in the space, right? So
Yes.
so yeah,
Yeah,
social proof.
exactly. And ultimately, the more you work, again, I got a 360-degree holistic view of everything that I'm involved in, and that's come over time. You know, when I was in my 20s, I wasn't doing this. Like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
your package comes at whatever age it comes, and it gets together. Something I wish I had when I was younger was a mentor. And actually, I'm a mentor now and a coach for people, but because you can learn quickly off other people who've already been there, especially if they're good
exactly.
educators or they can share their experience with you. I wish I had a mentor at an earlier age. I do a lot of personal development now, but I wish I started it in my 20s because I learn off the best people on the planet right now because I want to be the best people on the planet, the best person on the planet, and the stuff I'm learning. So I'm learning off the best people, the people who are in the position I want to be in because, you know, who else can I learn off? I want, you know, if I want to get there, I got to learn off the people there, you know. But I wish I'd done this in my 20s because I'd probably already be where I want to be right now. I'd be there right now if I'd done it in my 20s.
Exactly, and this is the main reason why I've also invested like thousands of dollars since the beginning of actually lockdown, and the same reason why, because I want to learn from the best people in my space,
Yeah.
because they've already been where I want to be, right? So
Yes. They know the route.
they know the clear path and they basically teach me how to get there myself with their
Yeah.
help. So
Yeah,
that's what.
definitely. And I think you're on the right path, you know, you know, combining the mental strength and the mental stuff and the nutrition and the fitness and all of that, that holistic, you know, 360, that's what I do now. So that's why I agree is the right path. The more you can work on, you know, the total problem rather than just, you know, one element of the problem, because, you know, you sort one element, you fix one element of a problem, and there's still four other related problems, you don't actually solve the problem.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. So you got to go big. You got to be big picture thinking and think, you know, holistically on okay, what are all of the interconnected parts of this puzzle, and how do I fix each one of them so that I'm offering the total solution that the client needs. And it sounds to me that you're delivering that. So you know, at a young age, that's really well done to have got to that point. Like, you know.
Yeah, appreciate the kind words, but yeah, I like, just like you have like a clear goal in mind of where you want to be. I have that for myself as well, and this is why I've started. I fortunately I've realized this already at this young age, and now essentially I'm putting in the daily work that hopefully will get me there.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, I mean, like you said, just at the beginning of this podcast, you're giving every single day, you're putting out value for people and you're giving back. And this is what I'm also trying to do, and like serve my clients and give out, like put out value every single day and basically help people, because I actually used to be overweight in my early teens and to be picked on by my peers and laughed at on a daily basis, which as like a 13-year-old like teen it really had a huge negative impact on my confidence, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful that it happened, because if it didn't happen, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So yeah, I mean, I'm grateful for
Most successful people are seen as successful by other people. Most successful people have that moment in their life. So actually, those people, those bullies or idiots, whatever, who called you fat, you've probably got a lot to thank them for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
in hindsight, it's like in adulthood, yeah. The redheads in the UK and the short people in the UK are normally really tough individuals, and they normally go on to be fairly successful.
Yeah.
Because they learn at a young age how to handle themselves, how to handle rejection, how to handle, the fact that the life isn't always rosy.
Yeah. Exactly.
And actually, they're great skills to have in life, because life isn't always rosy. And the people who don't have that a start to life, they're often soft. And so when something bad happens, they can't deal with it. Whereas the people who have a little bit of a tougher upbringing in life, they actually can handle what life throws at them.
Yeah, they've developed that mental toughness, mental fortitude, right? Yeah. So again, which is like a critical part of like achieving success, like we just talked about. So yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes with people who haven't had, that haven't got that reserve of mental toughness because they haven't had that issue, they're the people that are really hard to try and get to change their life and get them into that habit and that, because they haven't got that mental fortitude. So in a way, part of dealing with that percentage of the population as adulthood, part of the way of getting them into shape and into nutrition and all of that, sometimes you might have to do something like, which you can't do, but in a way you may need to insult them or get them to that bottom level at some point until they got the fight in them to achieve what you want them to achieve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't. I haven't seen any courses doing that where you tear somebody down, if you like, to such a level till the point where they go, right, I've had enough of this, and then they build up again.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone doing that, but in a way, that's the process that would need to happen sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And like the strange thing is that like the same people that used to bully me on a daily basis now, like they've come to me like asking for fitness advice and stuff. So yeah, I mean,
every dog has his day, as they say in the UK. Every dog has his day, and sometimes sometimes you can get great pleasure from those sort of things. And do you do any sort of a fighting or something? Because it looks like from your Facebook there's like you in a ring or something. Or are you in a ring, or is it just you doing fitness posing?
No, I don't do any.
I thought like you might do a bit of UFC or something like that, or a bit of featherweight boxing or something like that, like, or Thai boxing.
No.
That's what your picture looks like. It looks like you're in a ring, and I think because you maybe
really.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it looked like to me. Like,
my cover.
Yeah. I just because it's quite popular, isn't it, for people in the fitness space? So I was just going to see if that was something to talk about as well. But there we are. Then, how do people get in touch with you, Todor, if they're interested in your fitness and all the rest of the stuff you do?
Yeah, like basically I'm using my Facebook and my Instagram. So basically the best place you can reach out to me is Todor Kirev. Basically that's my name. And obviously that there are actually 2 accounts. So if you're interested in fitness, basically that's the account you want to look for. Basically you will see that I post only fitness content, and basically my other account is my personal one. So yeah, basically Facebook
connect with you on those. And have you got a website and stuff as well where people can buy the online courses?
No, right now, like I don't really have a website, so Facebook is actually the best things.
Yeah, that's servicing as a website. Then your Facebook page is the place where you send everyone to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. At some point, if ever you want a website, let me know, because I do websites. I do web design. I do them at a good price because I like helping people. So
you do.
It's sort of
Definitely.
like startup pricing. So yeah, if ever you need anything on like that, or even if you don't, if you wanted to use someone in Bulgaria, they might be able to do them cheap as well because the economy is slightly different. Although is it in the euro now? Is it Bulgaria?
No, it's not.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not. We're using the Bulgarian leva.
Okay, yeah. So it's probably still more competitive because a lot of the Eastern
Yeah,
European countries that have gone into the euro have had price increases, haven't they, to match with the Western Europe, So Bulgaria. That's why a lot of people still buy property in Bulgaria because the property prices still they're Bulgarian prices rather than European prices.
exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So you might be able to get them done in Bulgaria anyway, or you might want to, or you might want to get it done in Scotland when you're in Scotland because it's local to you. All these things good. But if ever you do want to get a website anyway, speak to me and I'll give you some advice of some of the pitfalls to avoid. Because a lot of people
Yeah,
don't
I'll
understand the pitfalls
definitely.
until they have a website and then suffer from the problems of the pitfalls. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I would. Obviously, it's a thing that I would obviously need to have
At some
down the
point,
line.
yeah. At some point, you might want to create online courses as well and sell them via your website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah. But yeah, now I actually have a membership platform that I use that stores all my videos and resources for clients. But it's essentially all it contains all my resources, so it's not
Is
really
that
a
is that
web.
Pantheon? Is that Pantheon?
No, it's called Notion.
Notion, yeah, okay, yeah. Because I've set up Pantheon and I'm about to do the same thing. So at some
Yeah.
point, I'm going to do an academy. All my content's going to go into an entrepreneur academy.
Right. Yeah, and basically that's where you're going to store all your content, and it's a good
And then
reference.
give people subscription access to get in and use it, whatever way they
Yeah,
want it.
exactly. Yeah, passive income, right?
Yeah, that's the plan, So at some point, I'm looking at one of those at the moment. So I would have asked you a bit more about it, but I'll have a look at Notion as well and see what I think it does in comparison to Pantheon. But I've only
Yeah,
just set up an account with Pantheon. I haven't actually started using it yet, so I don't really know much about it.
yeah, definitely. I can recommend Notion. I mean, it's fairly easy to use. You need to set up a few things in the beginning, but once you do, then obviously it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Well, I'm conscious it's a Saturday and we both got stuff we got to be getting on with, I'm sure. So I'm going to say thank you very much for coming on the podcast and for having a great discussion about everything really. And just thanks a lot for coming on and hope you have a great time whilst you're off uni still. Productive time for your fitness and that sort of thing. And I hope things work out for you with the coronavirus and either getting back to Scotland or whatever happens going forward.
Yeah, thanks very much. It was a great pleasure, honestly, and it was awesome to connect with you and chat with you about everything. So yeah, thanks again for having me.
No problem at all. And like I said, I like helping out young entrepreneurs in particular because I think young entrepreneurs need more help than older entrepreneurs. Older entrepreneurs got to pay me and I work a lot with them anyway. But young
Yeah,
entrepreneurs are keen to learn, they're hungry, and they're the people I want to build a long-term relationship with. So if ever you need any help at all, reach out to me. I'm on all socials. I'm on the podcast. Reach out to me. If ever you say, for example, you're making an entrepreneurial decision in life and you want a second opinion,
yeah,
sometimes, that second opinion might have 30 years of experience behind it, whereas yours might have 5 or 10 or whatever. It's always good to have a second opinion. I always say as an entrepreneur, you make your own decisions. I'm not going to tell you anything, but it's good to make your decisions with as much information as possible rather
it's
than,
always
you know,
yeah, it's always better to make informed decisions. Yeah, and
yeah.
I appreciate that, and I have your contact details. So yeah, awesome.
Brilliant. And if you have any other young entrepreneurs who friends or whatever they wanna reach out and have someone help them, I'm more than happy to help them too. So thanks very much and have a great day.
Definitely. Take care. Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Bye-bye. Right, there's nothing else left for me to say now other than have a great day. I know I will. And thanks very much for listening. Cheers. Bye-bye.